were told by some people, maybe one person, that we should do this. We just talk all the time. We talk into the wee hours of the night till we decide to, till our eyes fall asleep.
Pretty much. I don't know.
Can talk.
Have we fallen asleep in the middle of a conversation yet?
Not yet, but
close.
Close. We could have talked way longer than footage that we do have because you should see our setup. It's very, very unprofessional. So this is inspired by Miss and I's conversations, and this one is about vulnerability and connection and how that works. We have plenty of bunny trails. I feel like a lot of people don't even know the power of vulnerability and the safety of it. And this one was one that I really wanted to share because it's something that I am passionate about and want to teach people about, and tell them that it's okay to be vulnerable, and it's safe and it's powerful. And so here's our conversation as to why and how, and just conversation about it. And we're in our room, so it's welcome to Deborah's bedroom, I guess. Okay, should we start?
I probably should.
What was your question?
Okay, my question was, I'm studying about connection. What does it mean to you?
Yes. And what do you think about it?
Okay, so connection is something that I'm not sure what I think about. I'm not sure what I believe or where I how I understand it, because okay, so for me, I felt very connected in Texas. You know, friends, you have memories, you have whatever, and then you move, and I thought I disconnected. I thought I wasn't connected. I thought I wasn't whatever. And so with this whole process of moving, I'm starting to study connection so I can find out, what does it mean? What is it actually? What am I? What is connection? How does it relate to different people? And do you believe different personalities connect in a different way?
Yeah. What? I think yeah, they connect in different ways, but the connection, the actual connection is same.
Okay, because
some people connect on humor because that's what they're vulnerable in.
Okay.
Is humor. Some people connect. Your phone is buzzing. Because, and then some people connect work-wise because that's what they're vulnerable in, and some people what they connect on and how they connect is different for each person.
But the way they get to connection, which you are saying is vulnerability, would be the same.
Because the level that you are vulnerable at is the level that you connect at.
That actually makes sense. Okay, but then the question that comes to me is, okay, so when you and I were talking, I completely goofed, or I completely misunderstood what vulnerable means.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerable to me meant a mess and unable to make wise decisions and completely probably crying and pitching a fit.
It kind of does mean that, because when you're like, well, what is vulnerability? Then I was like, I should actually check this out. And then these were the definitions. Vulnerability is the
Secession? What?
No, susceptibility. No.
Oh, susceptibility.
Yeah, susceptibility to physical or emotional injury or attack. It also means to have one's guard down, open to censure or criticism, mean exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally, something many of us avoid due to fear of being judged, hurt, or failure. To be vulnerable means to put ourselves in a position that could potentially hurt us, open to moral attack, criticism, temptation, open to assault, difficult to defend, a vulnerable bridge.
That's more of a war, war
but it's vulnerable. It's a weak spot. Vulnerable basically means a weak spot.
Okay.
So in a way, your definition is right, but I think your view of that spot is wrong.
Okay, because when you said, so you said in a relationship, so we're talking about connection, but Jesus comes into the connection too, Jesus wants to connect with us, and you said Jesus is vulnerable, and I went, whoa, I don't want him to be vulnerable, but the way you kind of explained it, it made sense.
coming back to that, Jesus being vulnerable too, I don't know that he has a weak spot, but I think that he does come to our level. And
is it possible that by him saying, you know what, these are my dreams, this is what I wish it would go, here's my heart, and we could take that information and turn it against him and speak bad about him or something. We could if we wanted to.
Yeah.
And so in that way he's vulnerable. Normally,
if you're actually hearing from him in that way, you don't want to.
Right, but it still is something that he could, it's still a way for him that he's allowing the tender side of his heart to come out, which could be a potential.
You could turn against him and hurt him, although he won't be hurt.
Right.
I mean, it would hurt him. It would hurt his heart, but he's not going to be hurt like we are and forever.
Right, and pick up a miserable thing from that.
So that those definitions kind of took me by surprise. I was like, whoa. Vulnerable is not such a beautiful thing that I thought it was, because I think vulnerability is so beautiful and so powerful and actually is so safe. And so I was like, okay, what does the Bible say about vulnerability? Because, I mean, this is the world's definition. I think it's very accurate. It is. But what does the Bible say about it? So I Googled it, and this is one of the articles I read, and I was just like, oh, yes, this is exactly. 2 Corinthians 12, 9 through 10 says, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness."
See, and I think that's the vulnerable.
"Therefore I will boast all the more gladly in my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong." And I think that's exactly what I was trying to say, and exactly what I've seen in my life is when I acknowledge my weaknesses, suddenly it becomes a strength instead of a weakness.
That's true.
That's true. Another reason is because when you are vulnerable, all your weaknesses are just out there, susceptible to all the criticism and the attack and whatever, which then, if they are weaknesses, they get dealt with, unless you choose not to become vulnerable.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
They get dealt with, or then you shut down and aren't vulnerable. And
so if you choose to be vulnerable, your weaknesses, like it said, start becoming strengths.
Because you see them for what they are, and you deal with them.
And you can start working on them. Interesting. I kind of like that.
So this verse is kind of my favorite verse right now, because it's like, that is so much what I feel with vulnerability. Is such a safe thing. And also, when you're vulnerable, you're giving up trying to protect yourself.
Right, and so then you don't have the walls and the you don't have your extra wall out there, and so then I think that's when connection happens. Like if you have that extra wall out there because you're trying to protect yourself, people can't connect because they just ram into your wall.
Exactly, that, and once you start not, like basically you trying to protect yourself is taking God's job, because it is His job to protect you and to keep you safe. So when you give that up and are vulnerable, then God comes and protects you, and you're strong. You're so strong. In every place that you're vulnerable, you're strong. And I think vulnerability applies to your strengths and the places that you're good at as well.
Because if you're not vulnerable in those places, you're going to it'll probably end up being like a boasting factor, or a place where you're like proud, like proud of it, not in a good way either, like you.
And it can seem very proud to be like, hey, I'm good at this, can I do this?
Right, but no, that's not.
It's not. It's being vulnerable. Like,
it is being vulnerable. You're right.
It's really vulnerable to be like, hey, I'm good at this, can I do this? Like, can I share my talent? Because it's like, what if they think I'm proud?
And also, so for me, if I do that, I think, well, what if I break my, like, what if, I know I'm good at it, but what if I don't follow
What if I'm not as good as
I think? Yeah, they're thinking,
or as they're expecting me to be, or
Yes.
as they need me to be, or something like that.
Yes, exactly. Precisely. It's exactly. Well, I think that's why vulnerability is such a powerful thing, because you can use it in both your strengths and your weaknesses.
You can. It's definitely an advantage if you just simply take a deep breath and do it, because it's hard.
Okay, so I was gonna say something. Talking about God protecting you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna like bring myself into the conversation. I'm gonna be personal because I don't know how else to do it. But okay, so with moving, sometimes I can feel that I wasn't protected. Like I made friends and then I lost them, and that felt very unprotected to me. So when I came up here, there's a self-protection wall there that
Because you're afraid that you'll move again.
or they'll move, or we'll leave, I've had multiple friends. You make good friends and best friends and good friends, love them, and then they leave, or church situations, that whole.
Do you know why that happens though?
Why? What happens?
Church splits or whatever.
Well,
the devil, but also probably because they're not being vulnerable.
because they're all too proud to.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, there's a lot of other things that play into church splits, and we're not talking about church splits.
Right, that's a whole other topic.
But I'm absolutely positive that has a part in it.
That's true. That's true, because when you're vulnerable,
You're also humble.
You're humble and you're connected and you're
very humble.
especially if you're vulnerable with each other, not only vulnerable with yourself and with God.
And being vulnerable with yourself is important too, because that's hard sometimes. To get very honest, look at your life and being like, if this needs to change, I'm not doing good here. With some people, it's a part of their life, but for some people, like for me, I know in some areas I really badly want to have it all together in that area, and I try so hard, and that's the area that stinks the most. In relationships, in life, in whatever. But when I take a good look at it and be like, hey, this needs to change, I have a weakness here, what can I do to change it? Then I become vulnerable and honest with myself, and it changes, because
I think being honest. Okay, so one of the things that I also learned about connection, just from observing, is that you have to be connected with yourself in order to get connected with people around you.
I agree, because it also comes down to loving yourself. And if you don't love yourself, then why would anybody else want to love you?
Exactly. And that's one of the things that I discovered with moving, is that whole, like, in Texas, sure, I love myself, I love everybody loves me.
You are confident about yourself.
Yeah, very confident. And I'm not sure why the move suddenly made it that I wasn't confident anymore. And it could be just because